Hello everyone, welcome to Indian National Junior Science Olympiad 2016 Physics Solutions. There is a regular bus service between Pune and Mumbai 180 km apart at every hour from both the cities. First bus leaves both Mumbai as well as Pune at 4 am while the last one leaves at 11 pm. These buses run at an average speed of 45 kmph. Taxis also run on the same route at 60 kmph with a regular interval of 30 minutes. First taxi leaves both Mumbai as well as Pune at 4 am while the last leaves at 10 pm. Following statements are based upon the number of taxis or buses crossing, not overtaken, only during the traveling, that is, excluding the instances of arrival and departure. Consider the following statements. The taxi that left at 8 pm crosses 10 taxis, last taxi crosses 5 buses, last bus crosses 4 taxis. Speed of the taxi is given to be 60 kmph and that of bus is given to be 45 kmph. Distance between Mumbai and Pune is 180 km. Time taken by taxi to go from Mumbai to Pune is time equal to distance by speed, that is 3 hours. The taxi that left at 8 pm will reach the destination at 11 pm. Since the taxi left one of the source stations at 8 pm, it will cross every taxi that reaches the destination after 8 pm. Taxis reach the destination at 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12, 12:30 and 1. That is a total number of 10 taxis. Last taxi leaves the source station at 10 pm. This taxi crosses every bus that reaches the destination after 10 pm. Since the speed of the bus is 45 kmph, a bus takes 4 hours to reach destination. So the buses reach the destination at 11, 12, 1, 2 and 3. So a total of 5 buses. Last bus leaves the source station at 11 pm. So it crosses all the taxis that reach the destination after 11 pm. Taxis reach destination at 11:30, 12, 12:30 and 1. So a total of 4 taxis. So all these statements are correct. Vector C bar is the resultant of vectors A bar and B bar. Select the correct statements about their magnitudes. C may be equal to A, C is greater than A and C is greater than B. C equal to AB, C cannot be less than the smallest among A and B. Given C bar equal to A bar plus B bar, magnitude of the resultant C equal to root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. C may be equal to A when B is 0. C is greater than A and C is greater than B when the angle between them is acute. C is equal to AB when A and B are parallel to each other. So C can be less than A and B when the two vectors are opposite to each other. So all the options are possible. INSAT series of satellites are launched by India for telecommunication. Such satellites appear stationary at a particular point in the sky when observed from the Earth. Consider the following statements. The path of these satellites is always bending towards the Earth. These satellites do not need any fuel for its motion. These satellites do not experience net force. Such satellites have to be positioned vertically above the equator. Let us analyze the statements one by one. First statement. An Earth satellite is in free fall around the Earth. The curvature of the Earth is such that the surface drops a vertical distance of 5 meters for every 7.9 km tangent to the surface. Second statement. These satellites do not need any fuel for its motion. The centripetal force required for the circular motion of the satellite is provided by gravity. So these satellites require fuel only to change the orbit or orientation. The net force acting on the satellite is centripetal force, that is gravitational force. Then such satellites have to be positioned vertically above the equator in order to avoid latency, that is a time lapse in receiving the signals. Imagine a conductor in a cylindrical shape of radius r. Two thin circular discs of radius r made up of non-conducting material carrying charge plus q and minus q respectively are attached to the two ends of this cylinder. Consider the following statements. Free or conduction electrons in the conducting cylinder will drift towards plus Q. A constant current will be set up through the cylinder. Constant current will flow for very short duration of time. As electrons are negatively charged particles, they drift towards the positive side of the cylinder. A constant current will flow through the setup only when a uniform electric field is present. The two charged disks do not establish a uniform field, so there is no constant current in the cylinder. So option A is correct. Focal length of a concave mirror is f. In terms of f, the separation between an object and its doubly magnified real image by this mirror is. Focal length of the concave mirror is f. Size of the image I equal to 2 times size of the object. So v equal to 2u. Applying mirror formula, 1 by v plus 1 by equal to 1 by f. For a concave mirror real image, all are negative quantities. So we get u equal to 3f by 2. Weight of a metal ball recorded in air, in water and in a liquid are 56 Newton, 49 Newton and 42 Newton respectively. Specific gravity of the solid and that of the liquid respectively are. Weight of metal ball in air 56 Newton, that in water is 49 and in liquid is 42. Specific gravity can be written as weight in air by loss of weight in water, that is 56 by 56 minus 49, which is 8. Specific gravity of the liquid is loss in weight in liquid by loss in weight in water, that is 14 by 7, which is 2. Two plane mirrors are kept with their reflecting surfaces inclined at 100 degrees. A mosquito flying in between the combination of these mirrors finds multiple images of itself. At a particular moment, the mosquito is very close to one of the mirrors. How many images will be formed and how many images can the mosquito see? Number of images found by inclined plane mirrors, n equal to 360 by theta, which is 3.6 approximately, so it is 4 images. Number of images seen by the mosquito will be 2. Since the mosquito is very close to one of the mirrors, it will be able to see only those images formed by direct light rays. A piece of ice with a stone denser than water embedded inside is kept in a vessel containing water. Size and mass of the stone is such that the stone-ice combination is floating on water. When ice melts, what will happen to the level of water in the beaker? Let the mass of ice be Mi and mass of stone be Ms. Density of stone ρs and density of water is ρw. For equilibrium, weight of stone plus ice should be equal to upthrust. That is Mi plus Ms into G equal to V liquid into rho water into G. From there we get V liquid equal to Mi plus Ms by rho W, which will give us Mi by rho W plus Ms by rho W. Volume of water formed due to melting of ice, Vw equal to Mi by rho W. Volume of water displaced due to stone sinking is Vs equal to Ms by rho s. So the total volume is Vw plus Vs, that is Mi by rho W plus Ms by rho s. So from the two volumes we can see the water level is going to fall. Evaporation of water is an essential mechanism in human beings for maintaining normal body temperature. For human beings, heat of vaporization of water at a body temperature of 37 degrees centigrade is nearly 2.3 into 10 power 6 joule per kg and a specific heat capacity is 3500 joule per kg Kelvin. On consuming a certain prescribed diet, the body temperature of an athlete of mass 82 kg is expected to increase by 2 degrees centigrade. In order to prevent this, he drinks n bottles of mineral water 250 ml of each at 37 degrees centigrade. Assume that the entire amount of water is given out as a sweat, which vaporizes. N is nearly. Heat of vaporization of water at body temperature of 37 degrees centigrade is 2.3 into 10 power 6 joule per kg. Specific heat capacity is 3500 joule per kg Kelvin. Mass of the athlete is 82 kg. Increase in temperature is 2 degrees centigrade. Volume of water is N into 0.25 liter. Amount of heat generated Q equal to Ms delta T. that is 82 into 3500 into 2, which is 5.74 into 10 power 5 joule. The evaporation process takes place with Q equal to ml, that is 5.74 into 10 power 5 equal to m into 2.3 into 10 power 6, which gives us m equal to 0.25 kg. Volume of water is 0.25 liter, that is 250 ml. So the number of bottles is 1. Pralay pushes two solid cubical boxes P and Q that stay in contact along a rough horizontal table by applying a horizontal force F on P. Box P has a mass of 4 kg and box Q has a mass of 8 kg having same density. Coefficient of kinetic friction between the block P and the table is 0.4 and that between block Q and the table is 0.6. Calculate the force if both boxes are moving with constant speed. Determine magnitude and direction of the resultant reaction force exerted by the table on block Q. Draw a label diagram in right proportion indicating all the forces acting on the two blocks. Let us see the first part. As the blocks are moving with constant speed, applied force should be equal to kinetic friction. So F equal to mu P mp plus mu Q mq into G, which comes out to be 64 Newton. For the second part, free body diagram of block B is as shown. From the diagram, force on block B from the table is root of 80 square plus 48 square, that is 93.3 Newton. Direction of the force theta equal to tan inverse 48 by 80, that is a tan inverse 3 by 5. A student of mass 75 kg rides a bicycle of mass 25 kg. The student has a habit of standing on the pedal on one leg at a time so that the force of his weight drives the bicycle. Distance between the top and the bottom positions of the pedal is 20 cm. Ratio of the pedal wheel bigger to and gear wheel the smaller is 10. Radius of the rear wheel of the bicycle is 50 cm. The student takes 6 seconds for one full pedal, both legs, and spends only that much energy so that the cycle runs continuously with constant velocity. Calculate the average power that the student provides to the cycle. Calculate the kinetic energy of only the cycle during this uniform motion. What fraction of this kinetic energy is lost of energy in various dissipation mechanisms during one full pedal. Work done by student in one full pedal is 2 times mgh, that is 2 into 75 into 10 into 0.2, which comes out to be 300 joule. Average power provided by the student to the cycle is P average equal to 300 by 6, that is 50 watt. Ratio of the pedal wheel bigger and the gear on the rear wheel is 10. Angular velocity of the pedal wheel is omega equal to 2 pi by t, that is 2 pi by 6, which comes out to be pi by 3 radian per second. Since there is no slipping, linear velocity of the pedal wheel and gear should be same. So r omega equal to r omega dash, which gives us omega dash equal to 31 by 3 radian per second. Linear velocity of the rear wheel is v equal to r dash omega dash, that is 0.5 into 31 by 3, that is 31 by 6 meter per second. So the kinetic energy of the cycle half mv square, half into 25 into 31 by 6 whole square, which comes out to be 333.7 joule. Fractional loss of kinetic energy is 300 by 333.7, that is 89.9%. Whenever we charge a conductor, its electrical potential goes on increasing. At any instant, the charge to potential is always a constant ratio. This constant is defined as the capacitance C of the conductor. Capacitor is just a mechanical arrangement to increase the capacity of an isolated conductor that makes it possible to store more charge at less potential. Electron volt is a much smaller unit of energy popularly used for energies of electrons. In detection of nuclear radiation, scintillation detector is a very useful device which converts high energy radiation into a more readable quantity like voltage. This detector consists of a scintillator which converts high energy radiation into low energy photons. For a material called anthracene, 15 photons are generated per 1000 electron volt radiation absorbed. These low energy photons are then incident on a photomultiplier which generates the electrons with an efficiency of 10% in its initial section. The number of electrons generated is too low to be read by a device. To convert the number of electrons to a measurable signal, later section of the photomultiplier multiplies this number of electrons by a multiplication factor F. These electrons, basically charges, are then collected in a capacitor to produce a voltage across the capacitor V. Now, let 10 kilo electron volt beta particles to be incident on such a detector. Assume that all photons produced by the scintillator reach a photomultiplier. If the capacitance of the capacitor is 120 picofarad and it produces a voltage of 2 millivolt, find out the multiplication factor of the photomultiplier. Given that for a material called anthracene, 15 photons are generated per 1000 electron volt radiation absorbed. Efficiency of initial section of the photomultiplier is 10%. Energy of incident beta particles on the detector is 10 kilo electron volt. So the number of photons produced is 10 into 1000 by 1000 into 15, which is 150. Number of photoelectrons produced is 10 by 100 into 150, that is 15. Charge accumulated on the capacitor Q equal to CV, that is 120 into 10 power minus 12 into 2 into 10 power minus 3, which comes out to be 240 into 10 power minus 15 coulomb. Number of electrons collected by the capacitor Q equal to Ne. So N equal to Q by E, that is 240 into 10 power minus 15 by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, which comes out to be 150 into 10 power 4. Multiplication factor of the latter section of the photomultiplier F equal to 15 into 10 power 5 by 15, that is 10 power 5. One of the popular astronomical objects is a black hole having enormous density and hence enormous gravity. The gravity inside a boundary around a black hole is so immense that even light cannot escape from within the boundary. That is why these objects are called black holes. This boundary is called the event horizon. The event horizon is spherical. Radius of the event horizon of the black hole is known as Schwarzschild radius. Schwarzschild radius depends upon mass, universal gravitational constant and speed of light in vacuum. Determine x, y and z if Schwarzschild radius of the event horizon is given by r equal to 2 times g power x, c power y and m power z. Calculate the Schwarzschild radius of the earth. Given mass of the earth is 6 into 10 power 24 kg. If it gets converted into a black hole, by how much will the gravitational force between the earth and moon change in this case? The Schwarzschild radius of the event horizon r equal to 2 times g power x, c power y, m power z. That is m naught l power 1 t naught equal to 2 times m power minus 1 l cube t power minus 2 whole power x, l t power minus 1 whole power y, m power z. Upon simplification, we get x equal to 1, y equal to minus 2 and z equal to 1. So the Schwarzschild radius of the event horizon comes out to be r equal to 2 times gm by c square. Schwarzschild radius of the earth r equal to 2 times g mass of the earth by c square, which comes out to be 8.89 into 10 power minus 3 meters, which is approximately 0.9 centimeter. At t equal to 0, Prashant is at x equal to 0 where he sees Milind at x equal to 6 meter. Prashant now begins to run towards Milind with 5 meter per second while Milind begins to run towards Prashant with a acceleration of 2 meter per second square. When and where will they cross? Also plot their displacement time graph together. Prove that Prashant will cross Milind twice if Milind accelerates away from Prashant from his original position at t equal to 0 with a equal to 2 meter per second square. Also plot their displacement time graphs together. Let t be the time at which they meet. So the distance travelled by Prashant and Milind should be equal to 6. So phi t equal to 6 minus half a t square, that is half into 2 into t square. Upon simplification we get t equal to 1 second. When Milind moves away from Prashant, distance travelled by Prashant should be equal to 6 plus distance travelled by Milind, that is 5t equal to 6 plus half into 2 into t square. Upon simplification we get t equal to 2 or 3 seconds. The graphs can be seen in the next frame. The first graph represents when Prashant and Milind are moving towards each other, so they cross at 1 second. And the second graph represents when Milind is moving away from Prashant, you can see they cross 2 times at t equal to 2 and 3 seconds. Two projectiles are fired from ground simultaneously with the same initial speed u. Both cover same horizontal distance of 160 meter on reaching the ground level. One of them reaches 6 seconds prior to the other. Only gravitational acceleration g equal to 10 meter per second square governs the motion of both the projectiles. Calculate u. Let the time of flight of the first projectile be t. Time of flight of the second projectile is t minus 6. For same initial speed and range, angles of projection are theta and 90 minus theta. Relation between times of flight and range t1 t2 equal to 2 by g into r, that is t into t minus 6 equal to 2 into 160 by 10, which gives us time of flight to be 9.4 seconds. Relation between range and time of flight r equal to t square g cot theta by 2. So 160 equal to 88.6 into 10 into cot theta by 2, which gives us theta equal to 70.2 degree. So the time of flight t equal to 2u sin theta by g, that is 9.4 equal to 2u sin 70.2 by 10. So u equal to 50 meter per second. You need not worry about theta 70.2. Calculators are allowed into INJSO examination.